We are talking about Rex Heuermann, the man accused of being the Long Island serial killer. Lisk. New DNA evidence. Yeah, a little bit. But then the funny thing is, all we've been talking about, when we have been talking about, was his wife, Asa Ellerup. But new DNA evidence has tied accused Long Island serial killer. 2 more murders. Accused Long Island serial killer Rex Heuermann faces new charges after DNA evidence linked him to the notorious Gilgo Beach Four murders. In an incident unsealed in Suffolk County Court, Heuermann, 60, was charged with the murder of Maureen Brainard-Barnes, one of the victims whose remains was discovered along the South Shore in 2010. These murders have remained unsolved for 13 years. The breakthrough in the case came as the investigators connected Brainard-Barnes' murder to Heuermann using DNA evidence. Specifically, a female hair found on the victim's body was matched to samples collected from Heuermann's wife, Asa Ellerup, and their 26-year-old daughter, Victoria. So there was hair on her from Asa and the daughter. It's a family affair. Remarkably, both women were out of town when all 4 of the murders took place, including the time Brainard-Barnes' death in Atlantic City, as detailed in the indictment.
Can I throw something in here?
I'd like to see some evidence that you were actually out of town, because I couldn't fucking tell you when I was out of town 14 years ago.
Right? My question is this, and your fiance has long hair, I have long hair, longish, and I do find hair in the house. Yeah. I do. But I can tell you that my husband, who's sitting at his office right now, I don't think he's got hair on him from me.
Yeah.
I just don't. And this is the second time now that we've heard about the hair from the wife. I mean, I guarantee my husband's got cat hair on him. Yeah. I have cat hair on me. We're not hearing about any of their pets, and they do have pets. We're hearing about her. So my question is, do we know for sure that she wasn't present at some of these? Because I'm starting to question what's going on with her hair.
I'm starting to question why we just rely on this, she says she was out of town bullshit. Since when is this
something is not adding up here.
Where was she? Okay, she was out of town. Corroborate it. How do you know that? Other than that's what she said. What's the story, if there is one? Where was she? What was she doing? Do we know? For the 4 murders, she was out of town? All of them? Do we know that for sure? I don't know. It just doesn't seem to ever really be spelling that part out of any of this. I'm starting to wonder. Here's my conspiracy theory on this one, and I don't know if I believe it or not. I believe that she has a lot of fucking dirt on a lot of fucking people in government there, involved in sex parties, and they don't want to fucking touch her, because guess who's going to start singing if they do?
Oh.
And saying as crooked and as backwards as things were there with the previous administration and such, I would not be. And we know there's allegations of police being involved in these parties. We know the commissioner before the last commissioner, he was involved in a whole bunch of crooked shit. So I think they know Asa has some knowledge, and they don't want Asa to talk. They're just like, here, Asa, you do your thing over here. And
it's taken a decade or more to get this to where we are now. This should have taken place, 13, 14 years ago?
That's because too many people in power were part of this shit.
That's really frightening, and that's really unsettling.
And and I'm not even saying Asa did anything. I'm just saying Asa, I think, has more knowledge than she is saying, in my opinion, is my guess. I'm not even saying it's criminal that she, I suppose it could go down the road if she was aiding and abetting or something like that, but I don't know that she was actively out there participating in the murders or the sex parties, but I don't know. There's some evidence that points to the sex party there's allegations of that's out there. So if you're aware of that, or you were part of it, and you're also aware of some of the higher profile in power people that were too, and you're free right now, and there really isn't a reason to prosecute you because we're going after your husband. I think that might be a reason why this is looking so weird. Prosecutors revealed disturbing details about Heuermann's alleged activities. He reportedly texted escorts while his wife and children were away, engaging in sick online searches such as very skinny white teen tied up porn. tied up fat girl porn, medieval torture of women, and how I was raped audio. What?
Good Lord.
Investigators also discovered a collection of violent bondage and torture pornography in Heuermann's electronic devices. Furthermore, they found that he had used his computer to contact escorts using the names Andy or Andrew, which corresponded with his middle name. It's getting real tricky there. I'd love to know what his childhood was like, wouldn't you? I can only imagine.
Yeah.
What happened that this is in his wheelhouse of this is hot. One of the escorts.
I'm guessing either mom or grandma were just horrible to him.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a wild guess on that. One of the escorts allegedly received a text message from Heuermann on March 1st, 2020, stating, "Hi, I saw your ad and wanted to see if we could set something up later." This chilling exchange occurred as the escort asked if the following day would work, to which Heuermann responded, "I'm working all day. I was free today. My wife is out for the day, working Monday." While Rex Heuermann pled not guilty to these new charges, his wife Asa Ellerup and daughter Victoria Heuermann were present at the arraignment but did not address reporters. No, they're too busy doing that doc. Suffolk County District Attorney Ray Tierney had previously identified Rex Heuermann as the primary suspect in the death of Maureen Brainard-Barnes. He had expressed that his office was close to linking Heuermann to her case. Maureen Brainard-Barnes, 25, was the first of the 4 Gilgo Four to disappear on July 9th of 2007. Her body was later discovered on December 13th, 2010, and she was reportedly found with a belt stamped with the initials WH, which investigators have suggested may belong to Heuermann's late grandfather, William Heuermann. Again, I'm going 2007. How do you even know where you were at those at any given time? Like, how the fuck?
Well, and here's the thing. And Tony, you and I, before we recorded, we were talking about 9/11 and 2001. You and I worked together.
Yeah.
You're telling me some things that you did at the radio station. I was live on air, and I can't remember you were in the room.
Yeah, and I was right next to you.
Right? So, and I even said it at the beginning of our conversation that was completely off air here. I said, "Oh, you were there?"
Yeah.
So
yeah.
How does any of this, I mean, this is a long time ago. These people have no idea what they were doing back then.
How do you account for it? And we're hearing nothing about the accounting for it other than just they were out of town. Okay, great. That's what they believe. That's what they're telling you. How are they proving they were out of? And number two, okay, yes, these girls went missing on certain dates and such. So I guess that's how they're trying to correspond the dates.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. But I'm imagining there's probably a little bit of leeway there as far as when the exact date is of death on some of these. I don't know. I'd love to know, okay, you were out of town. I'd love to accept that, and I'd love to believe that, and I hope that is completely true. Where's your fucking evidence? How are you proving you were out of town on those dates other than you have a couple emails from Rex saying that? Is that the case with every single time that he was out doing these sort of things, or is it just this one?
I wonder, going back that far, 2007, would you be able to contact a hotel
Exactly.
and say, do you have evidence of my stay there?
Maybe in the archives. I don't know. I mean, that's another good question. You're talking nearly 20 years ago, too. Is that hotel still owned by the same people? Do they have records going back that far? Because not everything was completely digital by that point in time yet.
Right. Well, and they only keep records for 5 to 7 years and then chuck them because they're not going to have an entire warehouse full of records in case one of their guests is being accused of a potential murder.
Let me go back to the murder file room. I keep them here just in case there's ever a case that comes up. We have no more rooms left for guests, but, we got the records. Her body was discovered December 13th disappeared July 9th, 2007. Body discovered December 13th, 2010. She was reportedly bound with a belt. Okay, we got that. The Gilgo Four were involved in the discovery of more than 10 sets of human remains along Ocean Parkway between December 2010 and 2011. Other victims who worked as escorts, Amberlynn Costello, Melissa Barthélemy, Megan Waterman, they became known as the Gilgo Four. Maureen Brainard-Barnes had a life prior to her tragic disappearance. She was originally from Groton, Connecticut, and was described as a straight-A student who dropped out of school at 17 after becoming pregnant. She held various jobs, including working as a card dealer at the Foxwoods Resorts Casino, at the local ShopRite, and at a gas station in the area. So there you go. Another one for Rex Heuermann that's been recognized.
Yeah, this is just, you're right. There's so much we don't know, and I'm not sure we're ever going to find out.
Like I said, I don't get why there's no context here to, we're out of town. Cool. Prove it. Your husband lied about a ton of shit. Why do I believe his email in this instance and not in another? Wouldn't you be also probably telling the escort that you're cheating on your wife with that, oh yeah, she's out of town or some bullshit like that? Anyhow? I
hate to say this out loud, but I'm beginning to wonder if she isn't somehow part of this.
I don't know. A little evidence, little answers, little speaking up a little bit. Although I guess anything she says or does could incriminate her. But if you were bringing up information that is exonerating of yourself, that's what you should be doing. But I can guarantee there is a documentarian sitting there right now with her, along with G Unit and 50 Cent. Oh, I doubt 50's hanging out there, but who is probably discouraging anything of the sort right now. Rather get that on camera than ever get any sort of evidence to exonerate oneself. They are rooting for her to incriminate herself and to end up behind bars. Probably whether or not she's involved or not.
Sick of the ads?
We are too.
Start listening with no commercials now and get access to all of our episodes in advance of everyone else.
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
True Crime Today Premium Plus.
Sign up now.